Hello, 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 and welcome to Monday Night Live. I am your host, Dr. Rita Louise, and thank you all for tuning in tonight. Big shout out to all my Facebook peeps and my YouTube peeps. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me this evening. And before I start, I just want to apologize for not being here last week. I got the big C for the first time since all of this stuff started, which was a little bit surprising to me. And really, the way I figured it out is that I have absolutely no sense of taste, and everything tastes like tinfoil and plastic. And it's not really fun. I mean, there's the not feeling good part, and then there's the food doesn't taste like anything, which I think is even more challenging because who wants to eat tinfoil and plastic? Anyway, but I'm here. I'm not 100%, so I hope you all will bear with me tonight. But I didn't want to give up on you, not 2 weeks in a row. My dad was a mailman, and the motto of the post office, and I'm kind of paraphrasing this a little bit, is neither snow nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night. And I remember growing up that, my dad went to work every day and delivered his mail every day. And we really didn't know how he did it. And so maybe that instilled a work ethic on me and my brothers and sisters where, we just show up. We were just taught to show up. And one of the things I feel about doing this show and my life work is, it is something that I'm just so passionate about. And when you have passion, you're not doing things because you have to, but you do them because you want to, because you feel compelled to do it. And that's how my life work is I feel compelled to share myself and to share my gifts with everyone that tries to reach out to me. Um, and I just think about it, and there have been so many times where I just want to give up, where I'm frustrated, or things aren't moving forward in the way that I hope they would. And, and that usually lasts for about a week. And then I kind of get back in the saddle and get going again. Um, because I mean, as sad as this is to say, excuse me, is I feel like I don't have a choice, that this is where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I'm bringing this up because I'm hoping that everyone listening can find the passion in their life, can find the thing that brings them joy or brings them happiness or brings them solace in the things that they do, because that is really what makes life worth living. And I find that when you're passionate about what you do, you're willing to go that extra mile. Um, you're willing to put yourself out there, and you're willing to work through challenges and adversities that perhaps, if it was just a regular day job, you wouldn't. I remember I had this job before well, no, I had been doing this full time. So when I moved to Texas, I'll frame it that way. I had gotten a day job, a crappy day job, as an assistant doing program management stuff. And I didn't get a raise. And so I went and I talked to the owner, very, very small company. And I was like, well, you didn't give me any kind of an increase after being here for a year and a half. And I feel like you don't value anything that I have given to this company. And he looked at me and he goes, but if you love what you do, the money doesn't matter. And I remember saying to him, it's like, but I don't love what I do, so the money does matter. But when I talk about doing my work, it's a totally different thing. You know, I'm much more willing to go out there and put myself out on the rim, out on the ledge, than than if it was just for a paycheck. They would have to pay me and pay me a lot of money to go do some of the stuff that I wouldn't really want to do. Anyway, so I'm hoping that you know, if you haven't figured out what your passion is or what floats your boat, that you'll take some time to think about it and figure out what that might be. So again, I'm still a little bit out of it, so please forgive me in advance. I'm going to open up the chat room here in a second, but I wanted to make one other quick announcement. So one of the things that I offer is and I'm going to say professional level medical intuition training program. You can become a certified energy medicine practitioner, a certified intuitive counselor, or a certified medical intuitive. And right now, till I think the end of the month, the training is on sale. So if that was something that you were interested in doing, I would love for you to go check that out. And you can find out more information about the training, the pricing, everything by going to that link, appliedenergeticsinstitute.com. And if you have any questions regarding the training or would like to sign up, please just drop me a note and I would be happy to answer all of your questions. You know, or if you wanted to schedule a private consultation with me, also, you can go to my primary webpage, which is soulhealer.com, and drop me a note and we can set up a session for you. All righty. So I'm hoping that there's like a million people in the chat room and they have millions of questions so that we can just rock this out. So please, okay, yeah, there we go. Please post your detailed question in the chat box and we will get going. So let me just do a quick shout out and we'll go. So hey, Lori and Teresa and Miss Narcy, and thank you all for the well wishes. I am happy I feel better because I was feeling pretty freaking miserable. Hey, Joe. But I'm on the mend, you know, and I wasn't quite sure about doing the show tonight. But one of the things that I've learned about myself is that, excuse me, doing things like that, like this, get my adrenaline moving and they kind of get me in the flow. And it always makes me feel better. And so my hope is that with my passions flowing, that by the end of this show, I will feel excellent. So that's my goal. Okay. So let's see. So we have Ziggy in the chat room and Joe, and I'm going to come back to you, Joe, and Maria and Veronica. So Joe says, hello from Dallas. The friend you helped us with is doing so well and is out of ICU. Thanks for all your help. Woohoo! Thank you, Joe, for the follow-up on that. Let's see. We have Veronica from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Well, welcome, Veronica. And we have Momo. Hey, Momo. So if you guys have any questions, I know we have one here from Narcy. You know, please post your question in the chat box and I will get to you as soon as possible. Okay. Okay. So Narcy would like to get some feedback on her spirit guides. Okay, Narcy. You know, Narcy, and you see this fairly often, but you're showing me that you actually have, you know, at least two, possibly even three spirit guides. Um, it makes me laugh because one of them constantly reminds you of this is the proper thing to do. Um, okay, and I'm just going to say this out loud because it's just what's coming through. I get the impression that if left to your own devices, you would say a whole lot more that would maybe be a bit politically incorrect, but you choose not to. And I feel like it's this guide that kind of keeps you in line from stumbling over your own tongue, if that makes sense. I feel like the other ones tend to stay a bit more in the background. Um, and I'm going to make one last comment. I feel like, all right, other than the one that tells you, like, don't say that, don't say that, I feel like you kind of go back and forth between paying attention to your guides and not paying attention to your guides. But I feel like you are learning to notice them better. And so I feel like, that's moving forward. So I hope that helps and gives you some input. Okay, so we have a question from Maria. And her question is, I'm going through a contentious legal matter and would welcome any suggestions, insights you may have. Well, the first thing that I want to share is um, don't back down. I feel like they're trying to intimidate you. I feel like, um, there's a part of you that's scared of them, and don't let you scare them. Um, okay. I also get the impression, and I'm hoping that this is going to make sense. I get the impression that there's a part of you that doesn't really understand your rights in this whole matter, what you can expect. I mean, I feel like you kind of given it to the hands of the lawyers, and are relying on them versus really directing what's going on. I hope that makes sense. But I feel like it's more because you're not really understand what your rights are. And I feel like you not knowing and you not understanding and you not fighting for yourself is kind of leaving you behind the eight ball because it's hard to give your lawyers direction, as far as where you want it to go, if you don't really understand what your complete rights are in the whole matter. Um, they are going to try to drag it out till the bitter end, so I would just get comfortable. I do feel like they really do like the show, and maybe sit back, get some popcorn, and let them flutter around because you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And so, but I think you feeling more comfortable as far as what your grounds are and where your legal standing is will make you feel more comfortable inside. Okay. I hope that helps. If you have a follow up question, please do post it down below. Okay, so Lori would like to know what kind of messages her guides are trying to tell her. I mean, I'm not particularly auditory, so they don't. I don't really get messages per se. Let me take a look, but I can't guarantee anything. Okay. Okay, well, this isn't where I thought I would go, but okay. So, Lori, I kind of get the impression that you're a little upset or depressed. When I look at your energy, the image you're showing me is that your eyes are gazed down. And I feel like you're not getting the clarity because you're kind of getting in your own way because your own energy is low and not vibrating even at a neutral place. So perhaps, doing some meditation, doing some yoga, doing some mindfulness work, going and exercising, raking leaves, doing whatever you need to do to make you feel internally whole will make it so that the information from your guides will come through. I feel like they are there and they are communicating with you, but I feel like your own, and I'm going to say it this way, your own negative energy, your own feel bad energy is blocking it from coming in. So even though I don't have a mess, well, maybe that's the message from them is that, you know, work on self care, work on self love, work on yourself because that will open you back up to receiving the guidance that you're looking for. Okay, great. Thank you, Lori. If you will have a follow up, please post it below. All right. Janet also would like some info on her guides. Okay. Okay, so I have to kind of wave my hands here a second. That would be your right side. Okay, so you're showing me you have this rather tall male guide that stands just off to your right hand side. I feel like you actually feel him at times. I mean, because he's really up close. Um, so I don't know if you're kind of a conspiratorial kind of gal, but I feel like this guy gives you kind of like the inside skinny about things, about people, about situations that a lot of people don't really have access to or are privy to. And I feel like you're not quite sure where some of the information is coming from. And I feel like that is coming from that guide. Um, cool. Very cool. Okay. All right. So Momo says that I'm assuming it's a she, not really sure. Um, I'm on the road in Southern Virginia from DC, pulled over to type. Okay, well, Momo, hit me up with a question. All right, so Narcy followed up about her spirit guide thing, saying, I'm becoming more open slash aware of my spiritual side, period. Narcy, that's because you're hanging around with me. All right, so Marie said, thank you, Rita, you're right. They are dragging it out and they do like the show. Marie, they totally like the show. And I feel like if you could just find some amusement in the whole thing and just, again, pull out the proverbial popcorn and, you know, just enjoy it. I think it will take a lot of the energy and a lot of the stress out of it for you. Okay? All right. All right, so Chris and Jerry says, I think one of my spirit guides is George Gobel, who I don't know who that is. So I'm not going to comment on that. Okay. All right. All right, here's Momo's question. All right, my situation being evicted by family members and me to move by end of February. I'm unemployed but have two options for relocation. Suburbs of Pittsburgh or Maryland, DC is either better option. Okay. The one that is resonating for me better, Momo, is the suburbs of Pittsburgh. Haven't been to either of those locations, so don't have any like personal insights into one or the other. I just feel like there is a calmer, more mellow energy there for you. Where I feel like the other location there, and this is like so intangible that it's going to be hard for you to ground or hard for you to kind of pull it together, or maybe the environment that you would be going into is unsettling, which I feel like you don't really need right now. I feel like, what you really need is for things to just be mellow and calm, so you can pull yourself together and pull your stuff together, so you can move forward in your life. And I feel like there's going to be more opportunities for that in the Pittsburgh area versus the Maryland, DC area. Okay. Okay, so Janet wanted to know, and Janet, I'm going to throw out something to you. I was wondering if you have any thoughts on my physical health issues. Okay, so we have a lot of body parts, and so I really need people, especially if they're asking about health issues that they really need to disclose. And I can understand why you maybe wouldn't want to do that in this chat group. Um, I am willing to go there, but I really need something more to focus in on, because again, we have a lot of parts. Okay. All right. So Momo is back. Also been job hunting for over a year. Are you able to see a new job for me soon? Thanks. Okay. So I don't predict the future, but I can look at a couple of different things and make commentary about it. Um, Okay, so Momo, this is really kind of interesting, and I'm just going to blurt again. I feel like there is leftover hurt, anger, upset, frustration, blah, blah, tied to what you were doing before, that you haven't resolved the inner hurt tied to it. But I'm feeling like you should maybe expand your search as far as like the kinds of things that you're looking for. I do feel like there are opportunities out there, but I feel like you're being just a little tunnel visioned. But in that tunnel vision, and maybe it's because you've been looking so long that you're just really kind of tired and frustrated and burned out. Um, sometimes it's worth just getting a job, doing anything to get us past that energy vibration so that we can regroup and refocus without the stress and strain of looking for a year and not getting a job and all the crap that goes along with that. So maybe take a step back and regroup and refocus, because I feel like that will help open the door for a job to come to you. Okay? Great. Okay, so Lori is back. She said that was amazing. Knew my energy was low, but did not know it was that low. Yeah, it's um well, work at this more. I wonder if the friend I'm hanging out with is low energy and I'm matching that vibration. Ooh. Okay. And Lori, let me quantify, I've definitely seen lower energy. I've definitely had lower energy. Um, you know, but again, it's interfering. So I'm kind of looking at the friend person. I'm going to say no. I mean, I feel like the friend person is having some impact. Um, but I feel like if given the choice, you wouldn't really hang out with that friend person. So I don't know if there's a piece of you that's feeling desperate or lonely or what's going on, but I'm not feeling like this friend person is, you know, the cat's meow for you. But more something for you to do. So maybe that's something you need to put into your creation space is to, find things to do to to find some better friends. Okay, let's see. Okay, so all right, Teresa is back with her health concern. And she wants to know what causes bone spurs. I have one in my left humerus head. Any suggestions on what to try besides surgery? And so I'm really not an expert on bone spurs. I know that, our body, depending on who we are, um, we can create calcifications that come off the end of bones or in our mouth or whatever, and then they can kind of break off and create a bone spur, or it can like stick out, and then every time you move your arm in a certain way, the muscle gets caught up on the bone spur. Um, there aren't any supplements that I'm familiar with that dissolve bone. And so that's really the only thing that I'm aware of is some kind of surgery to take, to remove the spur. Um, I feel like it's a fairly minimally invasive procedure for them to do that because they're just basically going in and chipping it out and pulling it out. Um, so I feel like the risk and the risk to benefit ratio, especially if it's causing you a lot of discomfort, is really good. Um, something you might want to look at also is your calcium absorption. So usually you take calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D together with especially the magnesium and the vitamin D to make sure that the calcium is absorbed into your body. I think bone spurs could form because your body is not utilizing the calcium correctly. So that might be something that you look into as well. And this is like the standard advice I give anybody looking to get any kind of surgery. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm just stating that out loud. Is if it's not really bothering you, then wait. If it's creating that much difficulty for you and that much discomfort, then I would go ahead and just get the surgery. I mean, it just seems like it'll be a very easy procedure to have done. So easy peasy. Okay, let's see. All right, Momo said that she was feeling that Pittsburgh is a better option for now. And, so I agree. Okay. All right. So, see, I got confused with the medical things. Okay. So, Janet, thank you for sharing what's going on. And so, simply put, from a naturopathic, holistic perspective on rheumatoid arthritis, Many practitioners believe that there is a gut issue, which is called leaky gut syndrome. And when you have leaky gut syndrome, what is going on is that, um, so I'm like getting in front of my camera. So imagine that this is your gut wall and it's supposed to be solid with no holes. But when you have leaky gut, it becomes porous. And so little molecules can slip out between the openings and go into the body, which your body sees as being something to fight about, something to fight against, and that is a lot of the times the basis of a lot of autoimmune disorders, and just the fact that you have gastrointestinal disease, just supports the fact that, there's probably some kind of leaky gut going on. So I tend to err on the side of not so much stuff versus on the side of here, take these 500 things all at once. And so I'm going to limit this for you down to 3 different things that I feel will help. But I'm going to also preface it. Sorry, I need to like talk slower, and I will stop coughing. I'm going to preface it with, when you're healing something that has been a long time chronic issue, that it takes time for it to resolve and unwind. It's not like taking a painkiller where it's just going to go away by itself, in a week. And so people often become frustrated. It's like, well, I did it for 2 weeks and it's not better. And it doesn't really work that way. It takes time for the body to heal itself. Okay. So with that said, 3 things. First of all, addressing your gut health, taking a good probiotic, a hardcore probiotic. One of the things with probiotics is that you can take a lot of it, just to kind of get your gut flora up. So there are some people that recommend, like, so if it says take 2 a day on the bottle, that you take 4 or 6 a day for the first few weeks and then go down, but it's a long-term solution. It's not a fast solution. The other thing would be taking something like turmeric or turmeric and ginger. And that will help with the inflammation, both the gut inflammation that's going on, but also the inflammation from the arthritis. One of the things about arthritis is where all the pain comes from. And what causes it to get worse is the inflammation. So anything that you can do to reduce the inflammation in your body, taking anti-inflammatory supplements, looking at your diet to see if you can reduce foods that are inflammatory would be great. So this came to me, and I'm just going to pass this along, and it might be that you take a look at allergens. The basic ones are wheat, milk, soy, eggs, those. Um, to see if some of what's going on, the inflammatory issues and gastrointestinal issues, aren't related to like a gluten issue or some kind of dietary issue. And the other thing that I'm feeling will help you in this combination is omega-3 oil, um, which is also another anti-inflammatory, which I'm feeling would be good as well. Okay. Thanks, Janet. Follow up if you have another question. And everybody, I am so sorry about all of this coughing. I have not been coughing, but all of this talking is just not helping me at all. Okay. Okay, so Lori wants to know, is leaky gut part of thyroid also? So Lori, no, leaky gut is not part of thyroid. Leaky gut has to do, well, I'm going to caveat that. Leaky gut has to do with your large intestine and your intestinal tract, um, where your thyroid, is in your throat and has to do with your ability to metabolize um, thyroid hormone. Now, you can have leaky gut and have it attack your thyroid, and have some kind of an autoimmune issue that's impacting your thyroid. So that is possible, but they're not directly connected, not as much as rheumatoid arthritis is. Okay? And Joe's going. Bye, Joe. And I hope I feel better soon, too. This cough again is a little bit annoying. Okay, and Janice says, thanks so much. I need to get my allergies tested. And the RA, I'll keep working with medication. Janet, you are so welcome. All right. All right. So you know what? There aren't any new questions. Yeah, see, Narcy, you were having a psychic moment because that's just what I was going to say. There aren't any more questions, and I'm actually a little embarrassed with all of this coughing, and I haven't been coughing at all, but all of the talking is just making my throat very tickly. So I am going to sign off for now, and I will see you all again next week. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. And again, my name is Dr. Rita Louise. If you would like to schedule a private consultation, please go to soulhealer.com and drop me a line, and we will get something set up. So until next week, again, I'm Dr. Rita Louise.